Well, good afternoon, folks. We are here today. We're heading out to a different part of town today to check out a new spot to scrap. And I'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Big Hercules here. And my other two little guys, Buster and Buddy. They're little old men. He's a little young whippersnapper here. What you got? 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 All right, on today's scrap, we're going to be taking the more scenic route out to my area here. This is Usury Pass. Great view of the Salt River Valley just as you're coming over the crest here. It's really beautiful. Real popular spot for bicyclists. In fact, years ago, they added this bike lane. As you can see, a biker there. One of my old shooting spots is coming up right around the corner. That was the one I talked about where they closed it. Okay, folks, here we have another Valley of the Sun landmark, Salt River Recreation. Been here since I was a kid. This is where you go when you want to tube the Salt River. Pull in here. There's the thing here. They got the big roll-up doors. You come up and you usually just give them your license, pay the fee, they hold on to that, and then get your tube. All right, and here we are over the Blue Point Bridge over the Salt River. So when you take the buses, they drive you over here above past the bridge, a little bit up the road here, and then they take you down to the river. Now it's winter time, so the river's a little bit low. In the summer, they up the increase of water, and tubers galore come down here. I went down here as a kid. As you can see, in the winter, people are fishing. It's a great spot. Okay, we're not far from where we're going now, but as you can see, Arizona has some amazing scenery. That right there is Four Peaks, and if you're a beer drinker, you've heard Four Peaks before. And there is Weaver's Needle, and there is the front of the Superstition Mountain. Here we are at Scrap Camp, and before even setting up camp, I'm checking out a few spots here where I've seen stuff before, and sure enough, we got us. What is this? What is this? Oh, 6 millimeter. Well, don't see that one very often. That one's actually going in the pocket for. Here's a good one too. 270 Winchester. Don't have that one. That will be, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing a casing display showing for my grandson, just showing all the different little casings and whatnot. I think that'd be interesting, especially when you find some real oddball rounds. Now this place where I'm at here has been used for shooting and recreation and whatnot for many years. In fact, that right there is called Sugarloaf Mountain. When I was in Boy Scouts, we camped out there, and I got to climb that. I doubt I could do that today, but it was fun, and you get a heck of a view of the Phoenix Valley from up there. Well, we have arrived at Scrap Camp. Gonna clean up a little bit, but they were kind enough to provide some scrap. So I'm pick this up. We're gonna set up camp here. Gonna clean up a little bit, of course. Get all this stuff cleaned up. Get this brass, this scrap, of course. And then we're gonna set things up, and we're gonna go for a little walk. I got my bike with me today. Gonna be doing a little bit of riding. And we're gonna see what we can get. Okay, we are setting up Scrap Camp now. I do have a much bigger tent at home, but it's just me. So we're going old school Boy Scout with a pup tent, which kind of funny. My mother, who passed away a few years ago, used to love going to the casinos, and they always give out dumb little gifts or whatever to people who go there a lot. One of them was this tent and other camping equipment. And if you knew my mother, to give my mother a tent, that alone is funny. So we're gonna sleep in this. This one's for you, Mom. Love you. Okay, we're gonna add one more thing on here. Now I know that this tent was cheap, and I've got some old steaks here. These are some cheap steaks. This is a real cheap ass steak. This is a nice one. But I don't think I've ever seen this. This is like wire. Oh my God. I think we're gonna go this way. Well, all right. Today we're gonna do some bicycle scrapping out in the desert. What the heck? We got scrap camp set up. Got a lot of shooting spots all down the road here. I drive. Let's get the heck out on the road and run on down. Got my brass bucket. We're only going for brass right now, so that's why I'm going on a bike. Downhill is always the funnest. But we're gonna cruise down here and we're gonna see. Oh, got some people shooting down there already. See if there's any spots that are open, and we'll give them a look. Cardinal, look at that. Don't see those often in Arizona. I tell you, this sand, even with these big old tires, they ain't nothing to mess with, or it ain't nothing to mess with. Okay, let's check this spot out. I'm shooting. Okay, that was lightning. That was lightning. And that's thunder. So I guess that means, and just when you think it's over, the rain begins again. And I guess you would classify this as a sun shower. Sun shining. I love these things. So while we're waiting out this rain, I wanted to show you guys just how crazy Arizona weather is. I mean, you look off that way, you think, wow, there's a huge storm. It's gonna be raining all day. And you go over there, it's not that bad. And there you go, it's sunny. That's over the valley. We're just outside the valley. That gets more rain usually.
Waiting the storm out, waiting for the thaw out on a full moon night in the Four Peaks wilderness.
Well, looks like we rode that little storm out. We'll see what else comes about here. Doing a final pickup. I just keep finding more and more and more as we go along. There's another nest of brass. And this is nuts. This is in the ground. This has been here for a bit. I mean, I think a lot of the reason people don't pick up their shells is they just don't know what to do with them. Most folks aren't, you know, into all that recycling stuff. And they figure, just leave it out here. Now, that doesn't bother me none, because I'm a scrapper. But it's definitely not good for the area. I will say that. But we are here, picking it up. 45. Okay. E-moss. You know, one good place to look for brass, believe it or not, is fire pits. I find a lot of brass in fire pits. I don't know why. But as you can see, I'm picking out a handful here. Well, we're about to move on to another spot. Let's see. That's just from a little bit from the other spot, but mainly this one here. So that ain't bad. It's about a quarter full. Okay, just up the road from scrap camp, and you know, I think I'm gonna walk from here on out because there's a lot of nails and bad stuff for your tires. Some people were just shooting out here, so that's one good thing about the rain, is it makes you leave. And I'm glad they did, because there is a boatload of 223, which we're gonna start picking up right about now. Okay, got somebody coming up here. I'm not sure what they're doing, if they forgot something or what, but we're gonna continue scrapping. Hey. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up some, yeah. Okay, yeah, wait, you just heading over there? Yeah. Okay, I'll be back here.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, as you can see, this place gets mighty busy. One good thing about being retired is it lets you come out here on a Sunday afternoon when people have been shooting already and not picking up their brass. Good amount of brass here today. See, sometimes it gets a little down in the dirt there, especially after rains and whatnot. They start becoming part of the land, and my goal is to get them before they become part of the land again, because I want that money from it. Yeah. And as you see, they just drive up, go shoot. Don't gotta pay no fees, nothing. Like I talked about in my earlier, you know, take a little drive, and here you are. And as I've said before as well, very lucky to live where I do. To be able to come out, I'm about 30 miles outside the city. Well, okay. This is one of the reasons I camped out here. The reason, I should say. Just as I was about to settle in, saw some people leaving, and they had been shooting like crazy out here. And they left awful quick. So, unless they were shooting steel, they were not. They were not shooting steel. And now I'm gonna get them, along with all their junk. How much they pay for that? Yeah, it doesn't say. Oh Lord, there is a lot. They were shooting like crazy. This may be a bit. They were parked about right here. I rode by them earlier. Ooh, they were shooting the 5.7. You know what I find is funny? Here's a 5.7. Here's a 5.7. These are good little round. Fast, mean little round. And I forgot what I was just about to say there, so we'll just move on and start scrapping. It'll come to me. Oh, as you age, what your brain does. And I tell you, this 5.7 is pricey right now. Real pricey. I'd say between 30 and 50 a box. I may be being conservative on that. You know what? I just remember what I was gonna say. I found it funny. I was going through looking up different things on the internet about scrapping and whatnot before I started this channel. I mean, I've been scrapping. I just was researching different things, and I noticed no article, at least none that I saw, mentioned coming out to a shooting range for brass. They talked about getting chandeliers from the porch of somebody, they throw it out or whatever, but nobody mentioned it. I don't know if they're just afraid to mention the G-U-N word, the George Union Nora. Maybe, I don't know. As George Thorogood would say, that don't from me none. They can keep silent about it all they want, but I'll tell you folks about it. Damn right. Here it is. You see it right here on the internet. It's on the internet. It must be true. In this case, it is. Because I guarantee you, I did not come out here and sprinkle these for YouTube videos. One thing I wanted to point out when you're scrapping is understanding how a gun functions can help you scrap, believe it or not. As you can see, they're all in a line. So when you see one, you start moving sideways and you start seeing whole bunches of brass in a line. Simply the way the gun functions. Most people are right-handed, meaning, such as this guy here, meaning that the bullets are going to go off to the right, or the casings. So what you do, I mainly focus on the right, hardly ever find stuff on the left, and you will find more. I just keep, every step I'm taking, man, I just keep finding more. Alrighty, let's keep it up here. Another full 5 and a 9. All right. Okay, we're at another spot. This place looks pretty cool. It's got a little balancing rock action up there going on. Pretty cool. Well, let's see what we got. Well, whenever you see boxes, you're gonna find stuff. I'll break that down. All right, yep. Here we go with the brass. All right, and as I mentioned before, I usually go gloveless for brass, especially when it's pretty flat. It makes it quicker, easier to grab. As you see here, like I said before, they go in lines. This one's going sideways. As the gun ejects, it ejects it out to the right for most modern weapons. Yep, and don't be afraid to look up in the bushes a little bit, because they're up in there. Now, one thing that's also in here are snakes. I know everyone says that, but I've actually got a video that I will put in one of these where I had a snake coming right at me, and he was taken care of. Rattlesnake. There we go. That did him up. Put him out of his misery. Damn. That little bastard, he was coming right toward me. Little diamondback rattler. That's like the second or third one I've seen out here. Holy shit. And this is the time of year, well, we're getting close, when they start coming out. Watching what I'm doing and looking before I grab or step, because they do blend in. Boy, do they blend in. You won't hear it or see them a lot of times till you hear that buzz. A lot of people think it's a rattle. More sounds like a buzz because they do it so fast. First time you hear it, it will it will get your attention, I guarantee you. Oh, got some shooting steel here. Might get over that way, pick that up later. Oh, we got here some 22. No, that's not 23. That is a 22-250. Wow, don't see many of these very often. You really don't. That one's going in the casing display. Some 22s. As I said, I will pick them up sometimes if there's a huge pile or nest, but as I've said before, they're just not worth the effort. All right, well, oh, missed a couple. And we'll move on to the next spot. Well, would you look at that? Nice 12 pack of me and my RC. Tastes mighty good to me. Well, we're checking out a new spot here. Looks like, oh, there's a few. Here we go. Here we go. Out in the bushes where most people don't look. That's where they're at. And again, we're looking around, making sure nothing weird, no snakies or anything like that. And as we see, it was on the right where most eject. Speaking of that, we'll take a walk up here. Oh, sure enough, there you go. And you can hear sound of freedom. Love it. Okay. Shotgun shells. I won't be going for them for a bit. As told you in another video, I think I saved up a bunch for a guy. He turned out didn't want them. I tried everybody. I couldn't find anyone who wants them. Finally, I just put them out at my shooting place, put a sign that said for free, and it took about a week before somebody grabbed them. So I don't know. Just let me know in the comments, because I don't know if I should pick them up or what. I think we're gonna head back to scrap camp, set up, and maybe settle in for the night. Okay, we're in the same spot, but we're farther down. This is where some other folks were shooting earlier today, and they were just left and right. And man, they sure did leave a lot. I will scrap my flashlight. Let's try it. That just helps me find it. I can still see. All right, I hope y'all can. Oh yeah, we've got some more. Got a little bit more here. Oh yeah, there we go. 2 trees. 9mm. Just money in the bucket. That's what it is. Oh man, I'm gonna finish picking this stuff up. And here we go. Here's a good find. What does it say? An amend 2. 9mm. There you go. That's mine now. I'll take this brass too. Just keep finding it. Well, onward and upward. Honey, I'm home. What's for dinner, dear? Scrap? You know, you must love me. Okay, folks. Today is the end of day 1 of Scrap Camp. Heard of deer camp? This is Scrap Camp. All right, well, today, this is all just from today. Today I was just going for brass. That's what we got today. And this was just from one trip right up the road. From one session of people shooting. So, there you go. Okay. Well, we're going to call that a day for Camp Scrap. Got my buckets there. It was a good day today. Got a good amount of brass. Got my shot up table there as a backstop. That will be scrapped tomorrow. Got my old school lantern I got to bring out. Haven't brought that thing out in a long time. The old Coleman. All right, folks, and here we are with the wrap up for Camp Scrap. Had a good time. Go out camping, haven't done that in a long time. Had a pretty good experience. We're gonna go over some of the things we found. Hit a few snafus while I was there. Didn't go quite the way I planned it, like everything. The rain, had to wait that out. You know, I didn't want to be the only guy standing out there in a lightning storm holding a metal stick, so had to wait for that. But, and of course the next morning I planned on doing the next day, but that didn't quite work out. So what we're going to go through today, we're going to see what we found. First of all, we got a good amount of brass. An evening's work, that ain't bad for brass. Found some cool shells and some other things along the way as well. 45 Colt, don't see that one very often. 270 Winchester, don't see that one very often. Quite the expensive round. I believe this is 25 or 32. My old ass eyes can't read it. So I'm pretty sure 25, but anyways, pretty cool. And another Colt, and this is a 6mm ARC advanced rifle cartridge. I have never seen that one before. Apparently it was introduced a couple years ago, and interesting. A little short. I guess it's a varmint hunting round, is from what I'm hearing. And we found a mag to a Glock G19, and that's nice, the Man 2 model. So there we go. There's the wrap up for Camp Scrap. We had a good time, and hopefully we'll do it again sometime soon. More scrap runs, more trips out to the desert, a lot of cool stuff. Stay tuned.